96.7 KCAL rocks. It is time to talk some sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on? We got a lot to talk about.
Man, guys, what is cracking? Yeah, there is a lot going on this great week of sports. And I wasn't even expecting this. You guys probably saw it as well. Bruce Arians stepping down as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which also includes Tom Brady now, who came out of retirement. But yeah, Bruce Arians stepping down at Tampa Bay, and defensive coordinator Todd Bowles, a former head coach for the Jets, he will step in as the head coach. So some moving parts right now for Tampa Bay, but I think they're still going to be in pretty good shape.
I actually think that this is a better move for Tampa Bay, believe it or not, because I love Bruce. BA is a good guy, but he's very loosey-goosey, and he's a hothead, to which Todd Bowles is not. And Todd Bowles is his protege, right. So I think he can run the exact same system. He's probably super cool with Brady. I think this is actually a better move. Todd Bowles is a little more buttoned up than BA, a little more like Belichick.
Yeah. Somebody tell Bruce Arians that Tom Brady already pulled this little prank. We know this. April Fool's is tomorrow. We know how this goes already. He's coming back.
He's right. Coming. Maybe he did a little early April Fool's. You could be onto something. Maybe Gronk is ready to do a little April Fool's. He's keeping us up in the air too.
Yeah, we're waiting for Gronk. I'd be surprised if Gronk was not in a Tampa Bay uniform this upcoming season. Yeah. But yeah, the Todd Bowles thing, it's kind of like that coach in waiting. I know a lot of college teams, and maybe it's getting, popular in the NFL now, where, the head coach is only going to step down if his guy is ready to step in and take his spot. And Bruce Arians really likes Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles already the defensive coordinator with Tampa Bay. He was ready to step in. So I think we might kind of see more of this. If you have a head coach who has a lot of juice, a lot of power, he's going to be like, okay, the team is in really good shape, and I'm ready to step down, but I want my guy to take my spot.
40, does this not work perfectly where Todd Bowles can do the defense and then Tom can do the offense?
Probably, but how upset is McDaniels for Belichick never getting the hell out of his way all those years?
Very true.
He was waiting so long.
McDaniels like, Todd Bowles, I'm supposed to be you.
Yeah. You know what? And if you're wondering at home, the offensive coordinator is Byron Leftwich for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And someone once told me, I was getting my butt chewed at work, and they're like, listen, think about it. Even Tom Brady has a quarterback coach. Like, what is a quarterback coach going to tell Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time? So if Tom Brady is calling the shots on offense, or maybe it's Byron Leftwich, who knows? But Todd Bowles, you're right, is a defensive guy. He will still probably handle the defense.
There's a reason they're great. Even great singers take singing lessons.
Right. Hey, guys, and the other big NFL news, because we love NFL football, right? Even in the offseason, the overtime rule, right? So each team will get at least one possession in overtime. There was a big outcry, especially from the last, this past season's playoffs, that each team should at least get the ball once, right?
Yeah.
What are you a fan of the new rule or the old rule? What are you on, Pep?
You know what? I am a fan of the new rule. So I think each team should get the ball at least once. And it might change the way teams play overtime. Usually if you win the coin toss, you want the ball first in overtime, because if you score a touchdown, it's over. But now you might be like, okay, no, we want to kick to you. We want to see what you guys want to do first. Because if you hold them to not a touchdown, I believe if you score a field goal on your possession, it's over. You win by 3 points.
I do believe that the Houston Texans had the better rule proposal where if you score the touchdown and you get the 2-point conversion, you win the game. If you don't get the 2-point conversion, the other team would have got the ball. But the one we got, I think it's okay. I'm kind of on the defensive side where it's like, look, at some point, defense has to make a stop. Like, you can keep trying to make it as fair as you want, but your D is going to have to get a stop.
It's another thing that is geared toward the offense, of course, which is, right. It is driving this league, no doubt about it. I feel kind of the same way. It does. I get what they're trying to do. Like, it feels more fair, but it does feel at some point the defense has to stop the offense. Yeah. And it looks like the league is just about making that near impossible.
You guys both bring up great points, but 40, I want to go back to yours real quick, because in this rule, they did specifically say this is a postseason playoff rule. And you brought up the Houston Texans. My first thought was, what does the Houston Texans care about a postseason overtime rule? They're not going to the playoffs. Like, what do they care about it?
True.
So, touche. Guys, it is Final Four weekend for all you college basketball fans. And we love the upsets. We love the Cinderellas. We love when teams we've never heard of make deep runs like St. Peter's to the Elite Eight. But when all the dust settled, when it's all said and done, in the Final Four, we've got 4 traditional superpowers in college basketball. Duke versus North Carolina. And I know the Tar Heels are not a great high seed, but they're still in the Final Four. And then we got the other Final Four, Villanova and Kansas. So listen, when you get to the Final Four, these great programs seem to always find a way to get back to the Final Four.
The only team I picked that made it to the Final Four is Kansas, but I want Duke to win this thing, but I feel like Kansas is going to.
I mean, we heard so many other teams and schools mentioned, and then when it comes right down to it, it's like, oh, okay, it's the 4 that we've probably always heard in these spots, pretty much.
I mean, look at those powerhouses. A Final Four of powerhouses.
Yeah, it's traditional college basketball juggernauts. And, usually my philosophy is it's going to be the Final Four is usually 3 teams that are like a 1 seed or a 2 seed, maybe a 3. And then there's one oddball. Like North Carolina's an 8 seed, but they're not really an 8 seed. They're still the North Carolina Tar Heels. So you always get like one oddball that's like a 7 or an 8 or something that sneaks in there. So that's North Carolina this year, although it doesn't feel like it. So some great matchups coming up in the Final Four for college basketball. So if you're a basketball fan, you're probably excited about the Final Four. But if you're also a Lakers fan, you're probably not excited about how things are going with only 7 games left in the regular season. Right now, they're barely, and I say barely, holding on to the number 10 spot for the Western Conference play-in tournament, barely over San Antonio. And guys, right now, LeBron's got an ankle injury. Anthony Davis is out. Like, it's going to have to be the supporting cast that pushes the Lakers into the playoffs. It's not good.
It doesn't look good.
I believe they've also pointed out, too, that the Spurs have a relatively easy schedule for the rest of the way out as well.
Right. They got an easier route, so, and it's going to be tough for the Lakers. It's just a bad year.
Yeah, and if, let's say they get into the play-in tournament, like, what's your consolation prize? You get 1 playoff game and then you get bounced, or maybe 2 and then you're out?
Your consolation prize is to listen to 40 and watch on HBO the Winning Time documentary for Lakers fan. Good. That's the most exciting thing you Lakers fan will get this season.
Best thing for the Lakers going right now. Winning Time.
Yep.
I still got to crack it open. I see all the promos. I need to sit down and watch it.
Do it, Pep.
40 and I are big John C. Reilly guys after this.
Only 4 episodes deep right now.
I got to get through. I'm a Marvel nerd. I got to get through my Moon Knight episode first, and then I'll jump right into the Lakers basketball.
Good as well. Moon Knight was good.
Hey guys, finally, real quick, we got to talk about Tiger Woods. He is at the Augusta, where the site of the Masters, right, which will take place next week. But he's there. He played a practice round, and now there's all this speculation that we might see the return of Tiger Woods, who, again, it was February of last year. He got that horrific car crash. We didn't know if he was going to walk again or if he'd ever play golf, but here he is. It looks like he's on the verge of returning, and not just returning, but again, one of the most prestigious places in all the world at Augusta for the Masters.
I hate to be that guy. But don't you think this possibly could just be hype so people will actually watch golf and they think Tiger's going to be in it?
It does feel rather quick. I mean, from what they were saying his injuries were, I didn't think we'd be seeing him a year later getting back into action, but we do know that obviously just the thought of him being there is making everybody talk. So it's like, obviously his name alone is enough to drive people to watch golf.
The average person, golf nerd, is going to watch anyways, but the Tiger thing gets everyone to watch. I actually think he's going to end up not playing, and this is just kind of a publicity stunt to get more people to watch the golf.
Ooh, that would be bad, I think.
You know what? And you guys might both be right, and it might be a publicity stunt just to get more eyeballs on the Masters, it's one of the 4 majors. I would say it's the biggest one if you asked me. So I think it attracts a lot of viewers anyways. But if Tiger Woods actually is playing or has a chance to play, and we're talking Masters here on KCAL, there's going to be a lot of people talking about golf and talking about the Masters that might not otherwise be talking about it. So if Tiger's an ambassador for the sport, he's doing a good job because everyone's talking about the Masters right now.
I mean, is it kind of like in boxing where, maybe a guy's getting a little bit older, but he still has a puncher's chance of going out there and ending a fight? Is that kind of what this is? Like, he's not healthy, he's up there, but he could show shades of Tiger Woods and, turn it on for 18 holes.
He always could, because, he is a legend. He is a living legend still, whether people want to admit it or not. I just think that he's not superhuman, though.
He reminds me of like Michael Jordan trying to play minor league baseball, or Tom Brady saying he's going to play to 45. Like, there's some guys that just kind of motivate themselves and just want to prove to themselves like they can do it. So maybe in Tiger Woods' mind, he's like, I just want to get back to a spot where I feel like I can physically go out and play a round of golf. And he might not even make the cut if he plays. He might play awful, but I think in his own mind, he wants to prove that he can bounce back again and get back on the course. That's my take on it. He's one of those guys like a Jordan or a Tom Brady.
Somebody go give Tiger a hug and tell him he's good enough.
Yeah.
He got his award. He's out there with his son. I mean, it would be perfect timing. I just don't know if he's ready yet. I mean, the fact is if he's not in there, then nobody cares.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, if you're a hardcore golf fan, you're watching on Sunday. You want to see the final round. Casual golf fans, you might find that the broadcast on TV somewhere. But yeah, if Tiger Woods is playing, I'm gonna find out what's going on Thursday, like the first round. What's going on? What's he doing? What's his score?
Let's head into the weekend and have some fun. Pep, tell me how to get your stuff.
What is it? He's good enough, he's smart enough, and people like him, or something like that. Is that
Gosh
the old
darn
SNL?
It, people like him.
Yeah.
Stuart Smalley.
Hey, people like us on social media. We're Inland Sports. Check us out. That's all over social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We are good enough, we're smart enough, and people like us as well.
Thanks, Pep.